Jai Hind, everyone. Today's top headlines are as follows. Pakistan had sent 400 drones to 36 locations in India with the help of Turkish armed drones. In its retaliatory action, India destroyed one of Pakistan's air defense radars, using its drones. Two fully intact PL-15 missiles used by Pakistan, which were made in China, were found in India. India's air defense systems have shot down F-16s and GF-17s. Following the attacks, Pakistan sought loans from international partners to cover the damages incurred. A fully intact long-range air-to-air missile, the PL-15 from China, was recovered near Hoshiarpur in Punjab, which may have potentially been fired from either Pakistan's JF-7 junk fighter or the J-10C, though the exact firing circumstances remain unclear. This recovery also highlights that our previous assumptions regarding China may not be entirely accurate. In fact, China has demonstrated its alliance with Pakistan during this Indo-Pak war, as seen when China provided Pakistan with its HQ-9 air defense system, stating that it is much more advanced than India's S-400 system acquired from Russia, and available at half the cost. The role the HQ-9 air defense system played during India's Operation Sindoor has been significant, as you all know. And now, with the recovery of this Chinese PL-15 missile, China's camaraderie has once again been evident. It can also be said that China has directly transferred its PL-15 missile technology by providing fully intact missiles. However, stepping away from jokes, this reveals the reality of the quality of Chinese weapons, which is why Chinese social media is resorting to propaganda to hide this real quality. According to an official statement from the Indian Ministry of Defense, Pakistan launched drones and missiles targeting military stations along the international border with Jammu, Pathankot, and Udhampur yesterday. However, India swiftly neutralized all these threats through its kinetic and non-kinetic capabilities. There were no casualties or material losses on our side during Pakistan's attack. The Indian Army issued an official statement, confirming that on the nights of May 8 and 9, the Pakistan Armed Forces attempted multiple attacks using drones and other munitions across our entire western border. In Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistani troops also violated the ceasefire numerous times. During this period, Pakistan also sent swarm drones to various locations along the LOC and the international border with India. However, India's air defense units successfully neutralized all these aerial threats. In this large-scale counter-drone operation conducted by the Indian Army's air defense units, over 50 drones have been successfully neutralized, particularly in the areas of Udhampur, Samba, Jammu, Aknoor, Nagrota, and Pathankot. In these counter-drone operations, primarily L-70 guns, ZDU-23mm, Shilka systems, Akash surface-to-air missiles, and other advanced counter-unmanned aerial systems were used, showcasing India's strong anti-drone capability. To further strengthen India's operational readiness, the Indian Ministry of Defense has activated 14 infantry battalions from the current 32 Territorial Army infantry battalions, which will be deployed in the areas under the Southern Command, Eastern Command, Western Command, Central Command, Northern Command, Southwestern Command, Andaman and Nicobar Command, and Army Training Command until February 9, 2028, for approximately 3 years. Additionally, the Indian Ministry of Defense has once again advised all media channels, digital platforms, and individuals not to engage in real-time reporting or live coverage related to India's defense operations or the movement of security forces. When such sensitive or source-based information is disclosed, it can jeopardize the operational effectiveness and the safety of our soldiers. This advisory has been issued again due to the presence of several media channels that have been providing real-time reporting on India's military movements. Not only media channels but many individuals on social media have been recording military movements in their areas and posting them on Instagram Reels. Therefore, we request everyone to please refrain from recording any movements of India's security forces in your area, and if you have done so, kindly do not post them on social media. As we previously mentioned, citizens of a country are its biggest assets during wartime, and it ultimately depends on them whether they want to be a valuable asset to their country or a liability to its enemies. We hope that you all understand this responsibility. Furthermore, today, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh held a meeting with the chiefs of all three branches of the Indian Armed Forces, which likely included a review of the current security situations. Following the firing from Pakistan, the Indian Army has also released the first official footage of its retaliatory actions, clearly showing how the Indian Army is destroying Pakistani army posts. This official footage was uploaded on the official handle of ADGPI Indian Army and highlights the stark difference between the Indian and Pakistani armies. On one hand, the Pakistani army targets civilian areas in India, while on the other, the Indian army only targets the posts that need to be dealt with in its retaliatory actions. India never targets civilians. Meanwhile, around the nights of May 8 and 9, the BSF foiled a major infiltration attempt from Pakistan into Akhtar near Samba. Pakistan had tried to conduct this infiltration with the support of Pakistani Rangers, who provided cover fire to the infiltrators, allowing them to penetrate India under the guise of this cover fire. However, the infiltrators were unaware that India's forces were fully prepared, and the alert BSF troops successfully thwarted this significant infiltration attempt, resulting in the elimination of at least 7 to 8 infiltrators associated with the group Jash. There are also reports indicating that from the Samba sector, about 10 to 12 more infiltrators were waiting to enter India, wanting to capitalize on the drone attacks from Pakistan. But when the BSF eliminated 7 to 8 of them right there, the remaining infiltrators fled. Today, during the press briefing by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, it was reported that following their failure in the attack on May 7, Pakistan launched around 300 to 400 drones targeting 36 locations from Leh to the SARC area near the LOC and international border again. Most of these drones have been neutralized by India using its kinetic and non-kinetic capabilities. Furthermore, it was stated that the primary objective of Pakistan in launching these drones was to identify the locations of India's air defense units and to collect intelligence. Pakistan also attempted an attack on the Bhatti air base using armed UAVs, but India has neutralized that armed UAV as well with its defense systems. The debris from the neutralized Pakistani UAVs is currently under forensic investigation. 0 hours 6 minutes and 42 seconds it has been sent for investigation, and the preliminary inquiry has revealed that Pakistan used Turkey's Aziz Guard-Song unmanned combat aerial vehicles for this drone strike, which are quadcopters that fly at low altitude. In response to the Pakistani attack, India targeted 4 of their air defense locations in Pakistan using its armed drones, and at one of these locations, our drone successfully destroyed Pakistan's air defense radar. After this, Pakistan launched artillery fire, along with armed drones, in Jammu and Kashmir in areas like Tangdhar, Uri, Poonch, Mendhar, Rajouri, Akhnur, and Udhampur. Some of our soldiers were also casualties in this. India has also disclosed that when Pakistan attacked us on May 7, it was well aware that India would retaliate and that the response would be executed from the air. However, despite this, Pakistan did not close its civil airspace, which clearly indicates that Pakistan intended to use civil airlines as a human shield. Their objective was that when India retaliated, civil airlines would become the target, allowing Pakistan to depict the situation as a significant issue and start blaming India. Nevertheless, despite Pakistan's actions, the Indian Air Force maintained complete restraint and conducted its operations in such a way as to protect civilian airlines from harm. The manner in which Pakistan refused to close its civil airspace is not typical of a professional military but rather reflects the behavior of a terrorist organization. You may recall how Hamas used civilians as a shield in its conflict with Israel. Additionally, Pakistan not only executed a drone attack yesterday but also attempted to spread disinformation, claiming that an Indian drone attempted to attack the Kartarpur Gurdwara. Pakistan's objective with this false claim was to create communal tension. However, India clarified that it did not engage in any such act and that this is merely Pakistan's disinformation campaign. The truth is that it is Pakistan that has targeted religious places in India, including Gurdwaras. Now, let's talk about some updates about which confusion still exists. First, reports emerged yesterday about tank movements on the borders following the Pakistani attack, suggesting that India has sent troops. All authentic sources clearly state that there have been no tank movements on either side, nor troop movements, and neither India nor Pakistan has declared full-fledged war as the current situation involves the use of drones and missiles. There were also claims that the Indian Navy destroyed the Karachi port, but so far, no authentic information supports this. However, it is clear that the Indian Navy is fully prepared in the Arabian Sea and can act if necessary. Another significant claim was made that India's air defense system shot down 2 Pakistani JF-17s and 1 F-16 at the border, along with a claim that a Pakistani AWACS aircraft was also shot down. It was also stated that the pilot of the F-16 was captured alive by India. However, as of now, there has been no official comment on this. Authentic sources believe that at least 1 F-16 and potentially a JF-17 have been shot down, but whether their pilot has been captured remains unconfirmed. Furthermore, it has come to light that there are some social media accounts attempting to portray themselves as Indian but are actually operated by Pakistanis. One such account belongs to Tejaswi Prakash, which posted a quick video claiming that it was from Bathinda, showing that an Indian aircraft crashed near an airbase. Subsequently, that same video was used by Pakistani accounts for propaganda. This is why we repeatedly emphasize that any claims made by Pakistan should not be trusted until there is an official comment from India. Pakistan's propaganda wing, ISPR, often uses Indian accounts for propaganda dissemination, whether they are paid accounts or not. As Pakistan has used Chinese weapons in its operations, the real quality of those weapons has been exposed, prompting China to intensify its propaganda game. In this context, the Chinese media outlet China Daily recently posted a fake claim that at least 3 Indian jets had crashed in Kashmir, accompanied by an image. However, the Indian government's PIB fact-check refuted this Chinese media propaganda, confirming that it is fake news and that the image in question is from an incident in 2019. Additionally, it has been officially confirmed that there has been no successful targeting of any significant military sites by Pakistan in the drone strikes. All attacks on India's military sites were effectively neutralized by India's air defense units. Meanwhile, to incite communal tension, yet another fake claim is being circulated on social media alleging that Indian Muslims have started fires in Delhi. Let me clarify that nothing of the sort has happened, and the videos being spread are from a fire that broke out on the evening of April 30, 2025, in a market called Haat in Delhi. Moreover, a fake Facebook account impersonating India's National Security Advisor Ajay Deval has been created to disseminate false claims. All claims by Pakistan regarding India shooting down Sukhoi Rafale twin jets are entirely false. After Pakistan's drone attack on India yesterday, a video went viral on social media purporting to show India's Pinaka rockets. Let me clarify that this video has nothing to do with the current tensions between India and Pakistan. In reality, it is a video from a video game. According to ANI reports, on Friday, the Ministry of Home Affairs instructed all chief secretaries and administrations of states and union territories to utilize emergency powers granted under the civil defense rules to implement all necessary precautionary measures effectively. Also, following an air raid warning received today, air raid sirens were activated in Chandigarh, and all citizens were advised to stay indoors and away from balconies. Additionally, there has been a report suggesting that two unidentified US officials have again claimed that Chinese-origin Pakistani aircraft shot down two Indian aircraft. However, no evidence has been shared with this claim, which is likely just another part of China's propaganda aimed at protecting the market for its J-10C, which is now facing serious threats. This is because China had been comparing the J-10C to the Rafale, but in actual combat situations, the jets ultimately faced defeat. Following a meeting with India's defense minister, the heads of all three branches of the Indian Armed Forces conducted a meeting with the Indian Prime Minister. Regarding Pakistan's claim that India is not admitting its losses, a report has been released stating that the government of India historically acknowledges its losses. Therefore, officials stated that Operation Sindoor, currently underway, will share information at the appropriate time. Furthermore, due to rain, the water level has risen, prompting the Indian government to open 3 gates of the Salal Dam in the Rasi district and 1 gate of the Baglihar Dam in the Ramban district. What has happened after the opening of these dam gates is something you can easily imagine. As mentioned yesterday, a Turkish cargo aircraft landed in Karachi, and it has now been fully confirmed. The reason for this cargo aircraft landing here is an interesting question, and perhaps we all know the answer. As we record this video, yet another intact Place 15 missile from China has been recovered in Hoshiarpur, Punjab. This marks the discovery of 2 fully intact Place 15 missiles in India so far, indicating that China's brotherhood continues. Moreover, members of Pakistan's parliament recently revealed that the Pakistani army has become severely demotivated following India's attacks, to the extent that Pakistan's prime minister cannot even mention the name of the Indian prime minister. Additionally, a video has surfaced from Pakistani media showing a local boy acknowledging how the camp run by Lashkar-e-Taiba prepared terrorists and provided them with training. Lashkar commander Saifullah Khalid Kasuri. He knows that training happens here. Everything happens from here. The Mujahideen and other militants are prepared, and they had targeted this. Another very interesting thing that was seen early in the morning was that the Pakistan government's Economic Affairs Division sent out a tweet from their official account, stating that the government has appealed to its international partners for more assistance due to the heavy losses Pakistan has suffered after the enemy's attack. It was also written that Pakistan requests its international partners to help escalate this situation. However, later, the Pakistani media began claiming that the government's account had been hacked. And currently, if you try to open it, it will not open. But we will tell Pakistan that this is just the beginning. Operation Sindoor Phase 3 loading. Now it's time for Today in History. On this day in 2017, Lieutenant Umar Fayaz made the ultimate sacrifice while fulfilling his duty to the country. On this day in 1994, Major Sunil Bakshi of the 20 Assam Rifles and Assistant Commandant Labh Singh made the ultimate sacrifice. See you soon with a new episode. Until then, Jaya Hind Jaya Bharat.